Hello, boys and girls. My name is Maura Logue, and I've been invited by Drumhome Heritage Society to tell you a few things about ancient sacred sites and royal places in the parish of Drumhome a long time ago. The first place we're going to talk about was an ancient sacred site that was at Racco near Ballantrae. On the site today, there is a grey monument, and if you look to the right on the N15, just about a mile after Ballantrae crossroads, you will see a grey monument high on a hillock. This monument is dedicated to honour the memory of a very famous saint that lived at Racco centuries ago. His name was Saint Asicus. We have to go back in time well over 1,000 years to talk about Saint Asicus and to talk about the importance of Racco at that time. 400 AD is where we are in our history. 400 years since the birth of Jesus Christ. We know that St. Patrick came to Ireland in the 400s, and Racco has special meaning in the St. Patrick story. Ballantrae, Lahi and the surrounding areas were very different then than they are now. This place would have been wooded with strong, proud hardwood trees. These trees would have been cleared to make grazing lands for cattle. The wood would have been used to make dwellings, to make forts, and indeed to make monastic settlements. There were no towns or villages or schools. There was no electricity or running water in 400 AD. But there were spring wells, and spring wells provided water that was essential for living. At Racco there is a spring well, and St. Patrick blessed that well, and it became a holy well in the year 440 AD. St. Asicus was a close follower and friend of St. Patrick. St. Asicus was a very spiritual man, and he was in charge of a monastic settlement at Racco. He also was a very gifted craftsman, and he worked with gold and silver and precious metals and precious stones to make chalices and to make ornaments for St. Patrick's newly established churches. St. Patrick made him the Bishop of Elphin in County Roscommon. St. Asicus left Racco and he went to live there with his monks, and he was very respected and loved by the people of Elphin. St. Asicus was a very humble man, and sometimes he doubted if he were a proper leader. He had doubts about being Bishop of Elphin. And then something dark happened in his personal history. St. Asicus either told a lie or a lie was told of him, and this caused him great concern. He became very remorseful because this lie sullied his reputation. He felt that he must make penance for this deed, and he chose to self-exile from the community that he loved. And he travelled all the way to Donegal. Further on from Ballantrae and Lahi, he went right up to West Donegal, where he became a hermit monk on Rachlan O'Byrne Island. And he also spent time as a hermit monk on Slieve League along the Pilgrim's Way. A neighbour hermit monk on Slieve League at that time was also a very spiritual man, a holy man. His name was A. de Brick. St. Asaicus' monks missed him at Elphin, and after 7 years, some of the younger monks went on a quest to find Asaicus and to bring him home to Elphin. They found him on Slieve League, and they persuaded him to come back with them. Asaicus was very frail, and he was quite sickly because he was old at this stage. But he returned with the monks, and when they came to Racco on the way home to Elphin, poor Asaicus got very weak, and sadly he passed away, surrounded by his beloved monks. Saint Asaicus is buried at Racco, and many centuries later, the parishioners of Elphin asked permission of the landowner, Mr. Walls, to build a monument in honour of Saint Asaicus. Mr. Walls granted them permission, and that is the monument that you see today as you travel on the N15 and look right. The spring well that St. Patrick blessed in 440 was re-blessed by St. Columkill 100 years later, because Columkill's monastic settlement was part of the history of Racco in the 500s AD. It's hard to understand what was there at that time, but we do know that this is a sacred site, and it has the story of St. Patrick, St. Asaicus, and St. Columkill all connected together at this ancient place. If you'd like to view pictures of Racco and the monument that I spoke of, please visit Drumhome Heritage Society website, and you will find more information there. So while you all become history detectives, I shall leave you, and I shall see you soon again. Slán agus beannacht.